The March for Israel brought hundreds of thousands of people to Washington, D.C. this week from across the country, gathering on the National Mall to call for support for Israel. The march was held by the Jewish Federation of Greater Washington, and folks rallied to stand against anti-Semitism and also to free the hostages. Supporters say they will not be silenced. Organizers of the event calling it the largest rally of Jewish people in modern history. Julia Rayman, Senior Director of Policy and Political Affairs of the American Jewish Committee, is with us. Thank you for being back with us, Julie. What was it like to be there, the experience for you?
Thank you, Marni. It was a tremendous affirmative feeling to be there, surrounded by 290,000 other supporters of Israel, opponents of anti-Semitism, and people who care about bringing the hostages home. And I think it was especially poignant because since October 7th, a lot of members of the Jewish community have sort of had their shoulders slunched, right? Dealing with sorrow about what's going on in Israel, a real sense of fear and isolation because of anti-Semitism in America, which is more than tripled year after year since October 7th. And at this particular moment, there were 290,000 people together, not with their shoulders slunched, but standing tall and standing proud.
And family members of the hostages being held by Hamas also had an opportunity to speak. What did you take away from their message?
They are the most strong people that I've ever had the chance to engage with. And the speakers, there were 3 speakers at the rally yesterday who told their stories, but also the stories of others, not just the Americans who are held, not just the Israelis that are held, but Africans, Asians, Latin Americans, and others, lifting up those stories, calling for their release. To see the families of the hostages sort of in the crowd, feeling the strength and support was really powerful. For many of them, they're living through hell, unimaginable hell, feeling like it's them against the world. And in that moment, they felt like they had, hundreds of thousands with them.
What was your response, and did word start to spread, Julie, yesterday when there were a number of Jewish Americans traveling from Detroit, intent on being there at the rally, but couldn't because of, they claim, bus drivers who wouldn't take them from the airport to the rally? By now, I'm sure you had heard the headline today. How does that sit with you?
So it wasn't, apparently, and we're still trying to sort of parse this out, it wasn't just an issue that affected hundreds of people coming from Michigan, but also buses in New York City, whose drivers apparently said, we're not interested. We won't take Jews. We won't take people to a pro-Israel rally. It's a travesty. I think it's not something that sits well with anyone. And it, in some ways, like the only lesson that we can take from this is that we have to continue this fight. That even, showing this kind of strength will be met with resistance. The rally yesterday, thank God, was safe. And I thank the federal law enforcement, Metro Police Department of DC, and others for making sure that it was so. But it doesn't mean that, the Jewish community is safe in America, or completely free to voice opinions. There's a degree of silencing that continues to happen. One of the college students that spoke yesterday talked about how she changed her name in her Uber app because she didn't want a driver to know that she was Jewish, right? Like that kind of fear, that kind of discrimination is unfortunately becoming commonplace. And that's what we have to fight against.
And the show of people yesterday shows how much good there is in the world, and the voice is loud, but will need to be continued. Julie, Rayman, good to see you, and thanks for being with us. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.